After 5 years, the FBI arrests the pipe bomber. Let's check it out. Hey, welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. Without answers, humans are prone to filling an information gap with conspiracy theories, right? And the J6 pipe bomber is certainly an example of what can happen when we're not told anything and when we don't find out what we think we should know. The night before the Capitol riots, a long time ago, almost 5 years ago, a person fully cloaked in heavy clothing and a mask drops off 2 viable pipe bombs near the offices of both the Republican and Democrat Party headquarters in Washington, D.C. Fortunately, those bombs never went off. But for nearly 5 years, as the FBI managed to identify basically everyone who marched to the Capitol on J6, somehow the pipe bomber was never found. Some suspected it was an inside job, a part of the exaggeration of January 6th as the swamp attempted to destroy MAGA for the umpteenth time. Today, the Trump Justice Department told us that is not the case. The pipe bomber, you see him, we can pull up the picture right here, was just a 25-year-old kid at the time, living with his parents in a middle-class Washington, D.C. suburb. His name, Brian Cole Jr. He's now 30 years old. This is from the news conference today from the FBI. Take a listen.
Today's arrest happened because the Trump administration has made this case a priority. All of our prosecutors have worked tirelessly for months, sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years. Let me be clear, there was no new tip, there was no new witness, just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work.
So there you have it. That was the news conference that we heard today, and we're all well aware that there are still those that are going to be very skeptical of all of this, as you would expect. But the court filing does make the arrest appear to be ironclad. I'm going to show you why. Both bombs that were used a particular galvanized pipe. And again, these were active bombs. They say they were viable bombs. They used a galvanized pipe with markings from a particular manufacturer, and Brian Cole Jr. purchased those same pipes many different times throughout 2020. Both bombs have particular end caps on each end, also purchased by Cole various dates in 2020. It's the same story with the 9-volt batteries to power these bombs and the wires as well, purchased by Brian Cole in 2020. The same with a white kitchen timer, which was purchased by Cole at a Walmart in Northern Virginia in the summer of 2020. And then you have Brian Cole Jr.'s cell phone, which pinged near the RNC and DNC on January 5, the night that the bombs were left, 2021. No new evidence, just new eyes on that evidence. And that is the story. A young man that seems to have some issues, autistic, we're understanding from reporting in the area. But maybe the soundbite of the day came from Senator Mark Warner today after the Biden DOJ could not find this young man somehow for 4 years. Here's Mark Warner.
Some field offices, up to 45% of the FBI officers who are doing things like counter-espionage and cyber have been assigned to do immigration cases. It's a little rich that they're saying America's safer. How much earlier could we have caught this guy if resources hadn't been diverted?
Yeah. Complaining that the DOJ hadn't caught him fast enough after 4 years of the DOJ doing nothing with the story, doing nothing with the investigation. Brian Cole Jr. right there, 30 years old, lives at home in Woodbridge, Virginia, 20 miles south of Washington, D.C. New York Post reporting tonight the young man has connected to anarchist writings. His grandmother says the young man is autistic. Neighbors say he's very quiet, very shy, has a little tiny dog that he loves very much. You kind of feel sorry for him when you hear all that, but it's a bizarre story all the way around. And after years of speculation, after 5 years of theories, we finally have an answer. Cole's father runs a bail bonds business that reportedly is used often by illegal immigrants in the Washington, D.C. area too. So there is an indication, and again, a lot of this is just coming out. A lot of this feels like breaking news here at the 7 o'clock hour. Indications perhaps of some kind of political persuasion within that family perhaps led to this. But again, you had a bomb at the RNC and the DNC at the same time. Kerry Picket is a White House correspondent for the Washington Times and joins us. Kerry, you know the story well, and we're happy to have you on tonight. We have an autistic 30-year-old black man in custody. Dad runs a bail bonds business. That's the answer after 5 years. What do you make of that?
Well, Rob, here's the thing: is that you had this case that was going on for nearly 5 years, and unfortunately, what we still don't have is a motive. Yes, you did mention that, oh, there are some anarchist writings maybe, but that still hasn't been confirmed. And we're still trying to figure out right now, why did this man supposedly do this? That is number one. Number two, one of the issues that is tying this suspect to this particular crime is these cellular data. They apparently connected this suspect to this to the area of the RNC and the DNC through this geo mapping area. However, before even that happened, you had the FBI say that they couldn't really locate a suspect because they said that cell data was corrupted. And then at the last minute now, we're finding out, oh, gee, maybe it wasn't corrupted after all. And they may have a problem legally at some point when this comes to court, because this suspect's lawyer may say, wait, hold on a second here. Was a cell phone data corrupted, or was it not corrupted? That could be an obstacle with this particular suspect. But still, we still want to know more about this particular suspect and what the motive was.
Yeah, you don't have any suspicions that the right guy was captured here, do you? I mean, when I read the document, the court document, the court filing on this, and I saw all that evidence of the pipes and the end caps and the battery, it just seems like it's fairly cut and dry. But there's going to be a lot of people that say, "Oh, this is a fall guy" or something like that. What are your thoughts?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, it certainly looks very ironclad. Absolutely. I think that it's just interesting right now that the cell data was apparently there for many years, and then all of a sudden they're saying, "Oh, look at this! Now we can just."
What do you make of that? Do you think that there was? I mean, how in the hell did for 4 years the Biden DOJ could not crack they found every single person that marched to the Capitol. I mean, you're talking hundreds, thousands of people they were able to identify through video. They figured all that out, but this young man they couldn't find for 5 years. What do you make of that?
But you see, that's just it, Rob, is that they were able to find a lot of Jan 6 people who were at the Capitol, and yet for some reason, the FBI could not find this individual who had all this cell data surrounding them, and their excuse back then was, well, gee, the cell data was a corrupted, sorry, can't help you. And then now they're saying, oh, no, guess what? All the cell data was like completely intact. And like I said before, it's not that I'm saying that he's not the suspect, but what I am saying is that legally his defense might say, look, is it one or the other? And they may use as a defense, that's all. Yeah.
Well, what's crazy is that it was only about maybe a month ago that two reporters at the Blaze did this gait analysis, the analysis of how a person walks, which they say is very effective at determining who a person is, identifying a person, a suspect. They claimed that the walk of this person, who was completely covered head to toe, I mean, there was no skin showing anywhere, was a white female Capitol police officer who then left Capitol Police for the CIA. There's a video that shows that suspect that night waving. You can see it right here. A Capitol Police officer vehicle goes by, and the suspect waves as the vehicle goes by. One of the reporters that put that together, there's two of them, is a former FBI agent. So that thing stood with quite a bit of credibility up until today. What do you make of that?
Right. Yeah, look, that's what happens when a agency, especially the FBI, does not come out with any sort of new information for many years. That they weren't transparent, and so a lot of people, a lot of reporters are going to come out with as much information as they can. In that case, that particular story apparently has not panned out. This one, as far as the suspect, apparently is going to be what they're going forward with, and we'll see where the case goes.
It's interesting stuff. Kerry Picket, reporter, Washington Times. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Sure
We'll follow the story. Yeah, good to see you. All right, it is unmistakably clear at this point Democrats and the media are on a mission to oust Pete Hegseth from the Trump cabinet and from the Department of War. The left is enraged by the War Department's very harsh tactics, as we know, blowing up drug boats using methods that might actually work in deterring illicit drug trafficking into the country. That's the second attempt to get Hegseth. The first came back in March, or started, I should say, back in March, when Hegseth was caught texting plans to bomb the Houthi rebels in Yemen on an encrypted app called Signal, which is what a lot of people in Washington use to extra security on those text messages, better than just the encryption of your iPhone and whatever you use. Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg was accidentally added to that government group chat by Michael Walls, as you remember, and all of this information about that bombing, how it was going to go, ended up in his hands. And he is a harsh Trump hater, and he is a big-time Democrat propagandist. Democrats, of course, screamed that Hegseth at that time should resign.
So tonight I want to talk about Signalgate and what a colossal this is in terms of our national security.
Do you know whether Pete Hegseth had been drinking before he leaked classified information?
Pete Hegseth needs to resign. There needs to be accountability right now.
That's what it sounded like. Well, today the Pentagon releasing an Inspector General report, which did help to clear Hegseth's name in this first scandal, saying that while Hegseth may have broken internal departmental rules, no classified information was shared, as Hegseth has the power of declassification. As far as those boat strikes are concerned, this is the second way that they're trying to remove this man from his position. An update on that today as well, after the Washington Post last week claimed Hegseth ordered that everyone should be killed with a second strike on the same drug boat back in early September. Military officials today showing lawmakers video of that second strike in a classified setting. And the Navy admiral who carried out the strikes told lawmakers there was no such order from Hegseth. And the second strike on that drug boat was necessary, in his own opinion, as the drug runners were attempting to continue the mission after the first strike. So let's break all this down. Rob O'Neill is a retired Navy SEAL. He knows combat well. Rob, good to see you, sir. Are Hegseth and his admiral clear on the second boat strike, in your opinion?
Well, of course. Thanks for having me, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're clear, but it doesn't matter if they're clear because the left is going to try to spin it however they can because all they know is war crimes, war crimes. They know impeach with the president. They want him to resign or they want him to be fired. That's just what they're going to do. I mean, this is so simple because with the delegation of authority, we have what's called you eliminate the threat. And with the boats delivering drugs, fentanyl to the United States, it's a threat to the country. So if the boat's still there, regardless of which terrorist is on it, you eliminate the threat. And that's just known. I mean, this happens all over the place. I think we're getting a lot more attention now because it's in our hemisphere. And it makes you wonder, you got to follow the money. Who's involved? Who's getting paid on which end from all the drugs coming in here? Because it certainly seems like a lot of people are really upset that we're actually winning the war on drugs for change.
It is surreal to see that so much complaining. You know, you don't hear anybody make noise about the 50 or 100,000 people that overdose on illicit drugs in this country every year. I mean, that's a lot of people that just die, and it's just we've acclimated to that, right? It's just a part of the equation now, and nobody really cares. But man, do they raise hell when you blow up a boat full of drugs.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy if you think about it, too. I mean, this is so obvious, a color revolution, which is one of our intel ways to infiltrate certain places. They're doing it right now. They have the event on the 2nd of September. They get some people to start riling up the interior to include the Congress, then our military saying you can disobey certain orders if you think whatever. This is a color revolution that's happening in real time. And I don't have the time to get into it right now, but if you look that up, this is what's happening. You can tell from the people that used to be in the agency that are now Democrat Congress people here. And that, I mean, sedition's one thing, but we're really tiptoeing with other. I'm not going to mention the word treason right now. Oops.
I got you. I hear you. I want to talk about the signal chat before I let you go, and the Inspector General. Cleared, obviously, because Hegseth has the ability to declassify. But what did you, in your heart of hearts, what did you make of that? I mean, was that just a dumb move by somebody that hasn't been in government, that has a big job, and just is sending out text messages? Was it just a simple mistake? How did you take it?
I took it as this is the E4 mafia can solve this. Have a few Marines who are E4s follow them around and say, signal bad. Don't do that. Like just little things they might not think of that an E4 would. Yeah, it was stupid. That's it. There was nothing classified in there. Even if there was, they can declassify. They're not gonna put the stuff that's in there because it's too long and complicated and not interesting. Things that are classified.
Yeah, I mean, when you bring in a government that's not full of people that have always been in government because you want to change government and make it better, there's going to be a learning curve for someone like Pete Hegseth to run the War Department. I don't think anybody is surprised by that. That doesn't mean he's the wrong person for the job.
No, he's 100% the right person for the job. You just got to realize when you start dipping your toe in the Washington swamp that it has fangs. It will bite you if you go against the grain. They're seeing it now. It's not going to stop. But I mean, I hope people go out and vote in the midterms because I don't want another lame duck.
Amen to that. Rob O'Neill, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
All right, before we go to break here, we have a new picture of the pipe bomb suspect. I don't know, is this perhaps a mugshot or is that a driver's license picture? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's been booked federally yet tonight. He was supposed to have perhaps a court hearing today, and we're trying to figure out whether or not that happened. But his picture's just now making the rounds. Department of Justice just releasing it. That is Brian Cole Jr., 30 years old, lives with his parents just south of Washington, D.C., and the DOJ says he delivered 2 pipe bombs, the RNC and DNC, on January 5, 2021. He is now in federal custody, an autistic, lonely young man living on the south side of D.C. All right, coming up here after the break. It's not just Minnesota. There is fraud all over our big, bloated government. We have a new report on Obamacare that will disgust you. And that is up next.
Federal agencies urge every family to have an emergency radio. During any disaster, electrical power may get cut. The emergency radio gives you the vital information you need. Newsmax wants you to have the Dynamo Emergency Band Radio. It doesn't need batteries and works in any emergencies. It retails for $30. You can get it with the free offer. Call or go online and get the emergency radio today. Your life may depend on it.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Lee, and we live in North Pole, Alaska.
I was noticing my hearing was not so good, so I got hearing aids. My vision was not as good as it used to be. Got a change in prescription, but I was missing something for my brain. I saw a Prevagen commercial, and I thought that makes sense.
I observed the changes in Steve. I thought I should try that too.
After taking Prevagen, I just didn't have to work so hard.
Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the barn, treats were all wrapped up, heading out from the farm. Harry and David exclaimed as they drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good bite."
It's the Blue Compass RV annual Blue Tag clearance. Save over 40% on select new RVs during our largest sale of the year. Plus, every RV comes with a 1-year VIP membership to RV Complete, a $5,000 value. Visit us online or in store today.
Your parents have given you some amazing gifts, but what about the inherited ones? Celebrate them with Ancestry DNA, the simple test that shows your deep family roots from your mom's side and your dad's side, with some serious detail. Trace the journeys and history that shaped who you are today, and see the traits they passed down. Your connections to the past are all waiting. See just how gifted you are for only $29.
As we all digest the amount of fraud, the amount of money stolen by Somali refugees in Minnesota, a bombshell report exposing large-scale Obamacare fraud blows that away and serves as a reminder of why big government is always a disaster. They have all these big ideas. It's a disaster. The Government Accountability Office finding fake identities and dead people receiving tons of Obamacare subsidies, including 100% of the GAO's fake test applicants. They did a sample, and 100% of them were approved in late 2024. 18 out of the 20 fake applicants they tried are still getting coverage in 2025, and it gets even worse. A single Social Security number used for over 125 insurance policies. Nobody is checking anything when it comes to a government handout. Nobody is checking a thing. That's 26,000 days of coverage, 71 years just handed out for free to the same Social Security number. Nearly $21 billion, a third of the subsidies paid out, went to people who never claimed the payments on their tax returns. That's a big signal. 58,000 dead people received benefits. At least 7,000 were dead before the coverage kicked in. That's thousands of applications filed with Social Security numbers of dead people. That is textbook fraud, and nobody checks. The truth is, anytime the government starts a big program or spends a lot of money, it is largely wasted or stolen. There's never any accountability. There's no oversight. Nobody in Washington cares because it's not their money. All they care about is the ability to spend it, because that's how they get rich. If they can spend money, they're getting rich. They're getting taken care of. COVID was a prime example. How happy were they when they got to spend all that money during COVID? Fraudsters stole $280 billion, and that's probably a conservative estimate. $280 billion. That is an ungodly amount of money. The Russians, the Chinese, Nigerian gangsters, they took a lot of it. Wasn't even stolen by Americans largely. It was stolen and taken right out of the country. Another $123 billion flat out misused or lost by the federal government. $123 billion of your dollars. They don't care because it's not their money. In Minnesota right now, seeing the same, of course. Entire state full of Democrats knew it was happening, didn't care at all, didn't care about stopping it. Now they're all acting like they care. Easier to let your money be stolen than be called racist for trying to stop it. And to be honest, most of those people are happy that that money is getting stolen because it's keeping the Somalians that are keeping them in power happy. Senator Roger Marshall joins us now, introducing a bill to stop Obamacare fraud. And Senator, good to see you. Talk about the plan. I mean, the amount of fraud in Obamacare is just disgusting. I expect that's the way it is in all government.
Yeah, Rob, I think the bigger the price tag, the faster the dollars are going out, the more fraud there's going to be. So Obamacare, it's now swollen to $150 billion a year. $150 billion a year going to big insurance companies. We think within there is $25 to $35 billion of fraud. Well, where do I come up with that number? A third of the people on Obamacare have never filed a claim with their insurance company. Does that make sense? A third of the people on Obamacare never filed a claim. We think most of these people are ghosts, they're phantoms, they don't really exist, or they don't know that they're in Obamacare is probably the better way to do it. You mentioned 58,000 dead people stayed on Obamacare for an average of 9 months. So the federal government was sending subsidies to these insurance companies every month for 9 months for 58,000 people. So there's lots of fraud there, and we're doing everything we can to expose that, and now dropping a bill today to stop the nonsense.
It's surreal. You got into government because you didn't like the size of government, because that's why you're a Republican, that's why you're a conservative. But I mean, every time we get Democrats in power, we hear these grandiose plans about how government can do anything and government can fix anything. And they don't even have the basic fundamental capability to stop billions and hundreds of billions of dollars from being stolen from them. And we're supposed to believe that government can put together programs that can help people when they can't even prevent that?
Right, Rob. One of the solutions in my bill was requiring everybody that's in Obamacare to spend at least $5 a month of their own money.
Yeah.
And because of that, I can't get one Democrat to join the bill. So if you had a monthly withdrawal from your account, you'd probably say, oh, what's this about? You would call the insurance company and say, hey, I didn't enroll in this. But so the Democrats have even walked away from something as simple as that. I'm not sure they're really serious. To your point, though, Democrats wake up in the morning saying, if we just throw more money at the problem, that's going to solve it. And that's always their solution. They just want to keep throwing more of your money out the window.
It's all just a scam. And then they're just happy because if money's getting spent, they got a good life there in Washington, D.C., right there on the screen. Senator, thanks so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
When we look at this massive scandal in Minnesota, $1 billion from the social services system in fraud and corruption, you can be sure it is much, much worse right here in California.
All right, so on the back of that $1 billion Minnesota Somali fraud story, the Republican candidate for governor of California, Steve Hilton, announcing this week the launch of a new California tip line to expose fraud in his own state, which, think of the size and scale of that budget and how blue that state is. Tip line encourages state workers to blow the whistle, report waste, fraud, and abuse, including criminal misconduct. And Steve Hilton joins us now from the Pacific Palisades tonight. Steve, good to see you again. I can't even fathom how much money is ripped off from the taxpayers in your state every year? Because people in your state don't care at all about stopping that fraud, do they?
Exactly, because we've had 15 years now of one-party rule by these far-left Democrats who are all about what you just described, big, bloated, corrupt government. Let's just look at the fraud we already know about in California. $20 billion from the employment department starting in the pandemic. That was money sent out of the country, criminal gangs, all the things you described. People on death row, prisoners in jails, unbelievable. $24 billion, according to the state auditor, homeless spending that just ended up in the pockets of crony developers and non-profits connected to politicians. Now, talk about healthcare you were just discussing, $13 billion, that's the budget for next year for free healthcare for illegal immigrants. Now, that's a total ripoff as well. Right, that just there that I've outlined, that's $57 billion that we know about. Now, just think of the sprawling, bloated welfare state. In this state, remember, the first to have a statewide sanctuary law. Sanctuary cities up and down the state. Open doors, open borders, the ideology here. We know it's going to be a lot worse. So I'm calling on state workers in California, good, decent, honest state workers, just like we saw in Minnesota, who were blowing the whistle for years, but were silenced and targeted by Tim Walz and the Democrat machine. I've created califraud.com. So anonymously, people working in state government in California can tell us what's going on. So when I'm governor, we can root out the corruption and save taxpayer money.
Califraud.com. Steve Hilton running for governor, trying to save his state. Steve, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Good to see you, Rob.
All right. Much like COVID, Lyme disease made in a lab.
It came from Lab 257 on Plum Island, just outside of Connecticut.
You know the holidays are meant to be about family, laughter, and taking things slow. But when you're in pain, it's hard to enjoy any of it. I know because my back has made life difficult. But that's why I love the Signal Relief Patch. It's helped me enjoy the holidays again. Join the thousands who have experienced relief and get 30% off your Signal Relief Patch today. I've given this patch as a gift to friends, family, and even strangers I've seen in pain.
Signal Relief is truly giving me my happiness back.
The Signal Relief Patch puts pain on the back burner.
The Signal Relief Patch has been life-changing.
This is too good to be true. It's too easy.
In a recent study, over 85% of people felt relief, and it comes with a money-back guarantee. This patch was a game changer for me, and it can be for you too. Trust me, the patch works.
I lost 110 pounds. You couldn't tell at all because of my excess skin. Sono Bello changed that in one visit.
Introducing the new Lift EX, the just one visit, total body transformation everyone is talking about.
I am super happy with my results.
I decided to give Sono Bello a try. Look at me, I have a silhouette. You can see my waist.
Lift EX is Sono Bello's breakthrough 360-degree body lift alternative. Our body contouring experts sculpt, tighten, and lift your stomach, waist, thighs, and backside, all in just one visit with less downtime.
Sono Bello targeted the areas diet exercise could not do. I found me again.
Sono Bello has over 50,000 five-star reviews, and Lift EX is exclusively available at Sono Bello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist. Book your free, personalized consultation today. Easy monthly plans make your best body more affordable than ever.
This year is my year thanks to Sono Bello.
Call Sono Bello for your free consultation today.
As a fighter, being on my game isn't optional. I grew up in a family of fighters, and we push each other every day. If I'm not eating right, I can't keep up, so I take my diet very seriously. Balance of Nature makes it easy to get 31 whole fruit and vegetable ingredients every single day. A good routine makes all the difference. Balance of Nature makes it easier.
Get a free variety snack pack when you purchase your first set as a new preferred customer. This offer is being extended.
Buy one, get one free has been extended at Cabinets to Go. See designer styles come to life with a free 3D design. Hurry in, these great deals won't last long. Visit CabinetsToGo.com to find your local showroom. Cabinets to Go, designed to wow.
They killed her brother. They shot her dog. And they took her hostage for 400 days and terrifying nights. They raped her. They put guns to her head. They starved her. These are the stories of Israeli women attacked by Hamas. If you are supporting Hamas and radicalized Palestinians, this is what you are supporting. Choose freedom, not terror.
Where did Lyme disease come from? I can tell you with a high degree of probability, it came from Lab 257 on Plum Island, just outside of Connecticut, 25 miles from Lyme, Connecticut, where the first case was described.
Lyme disease. These are the kinds of conspiracy theories that end up being right, that make people want to believe in conspiracy theories. That's a major revelation from the FDA Commissioner, Dr. Marty Makary, on Lyme disease, which is something that pretty much sticks around in the East Coast and the Northeast. It is a nasty infection. It can ruin your life. It is carried and spread by deer ticks, which are on our deer up here in the Northeast. That could lead to joint, heart, nervous system damage. There's even a special kind of one that'll make you allergic to red meat. Yes, a disease that'll make you allergic to a steak, carried by a tick on the back of a deer. How the hell did that happen? Makary referring to a book called Bitten, which reveals that a Nazi doctor that was spared from execution in Nuremberg, there was a lot of brilliant doctors in the Nazis, was brought to Plum Island in New York so that he can be used for U.S. military biodefense. It was there where he told U.S. military that he believed an incredible form of biowarfare would be infecting ticks with diseases and then just dropping those ticks on the other team. And that, it appears, is how we got Lyme disease, which is a total pain in the ass for everybody that lives in the Northeast. Dr. Russell Surasky is a board-certified neurologist and joins us now. Doctor, good to have you on. I mean, I have to spray my yard 3-4 times a year. You can't let deer anywhere near you because of these ticks. And when you get it, I mean, Justin Bieber has Lyme disease. A lot of people have Lyme disease. It can ruin your life. Talk about what we just learned from Makary there.
Well, look, from a neurological standpoint, Lyme operates in a remarkably uncommon way. It has the ability to change its proteins, to hide. It causes 30% false negative blood testing, and it directly targets the nerves and the heart. And it can cause a wide range of debilitating symptoms, everything from facial paralysis, shooting pain, balance problems, and severe fatigue that can sometimes go on indefinitely. And then when you look and you see that this appears suddenly in a tight coastal cluster directly across from Plum Island, where a Nazi scientist was brought there to work specifically on ticks as bioweapons, and you have the biology, the geography, and timing all lining up. And I think Marty Makary is right on the money here.
It's something else. And that's been a theory for a long time. I love to hear this administration opening up about the things that nobody will ever say and nobody will ever tell us. I want to ask you about the obsession from the media over the president's cognitive abilities, the same media that thought Biden was just fine for 4 years, obsessing over our president. You see him, he did 3 hours in a cabinet meeting yesterday and then did another hour in a press conference. How are the president's cognitive? How's his cognitive?
Well, look, I've been studying this president now for several years. I can tell you he continues to be very cognitively sharp. He just had a thorough neurological exam, cranial nerves, motor, sensory, reflexes, gait. Everything was excellent. And he had a MoCA cognitive test, which looks at 8 domains of cognition, and he scored a perfect 30 out of 30. And MRIs of his brain, heart, and abdomen, and MRAs look at his blood vessels. They're all perfectly clear. So the story here, as I see it, is not why did he get the scans, but why is the press just blatantly and deliberately choosing to ignore the excellent results?
Yeah, because it doesn't feed a very good narrative. Dr. Surasky, good to see you. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Major retraction after a huge climate change claim. That is up next.
You know Rob Finnerty. He's smart, bold, and stands strong for your values. Rob is fighting for you. Watch Finnerty weeknights only on Newsmax.
Have you compared your Medicare plan recently? With eHealth, you can compare Medicare plans side by side for free. So we invited people to give eHealth a try and discover how easy it can be to find your Medicare match.
This is pretty amazing.
I can go on a vacation with this money.
I have quite a few prescriptions.
That's why people call us. We're going to compare plans, and I'm going to try to get you as much bang for your buck as possible.
That's great.
This one here covers all your prescriptions, your doctors as well.
Oh, wonderful.
I have a hard time with this.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for. Based on our conversation today, I would highly recommend this plan.
You're so helpful. You don't know.
I'm excited for you, sir. Again, my name is Cham. If you have any other questions, give me a ring.
Thank you very much. Oh my God, that was super easy.
See how your Medicare plan stacks up with the big changes for 2026. Just call this number or get started at ehealth.com. Compare plans that cover your doctors, prescriptions, pharmacy, and budget. And compare plans from the nation's top insurance companies. They pay us to help you. How much do you think you'll be able to save using eHealth?
At least $300 a month.
Would you say you found your Medicare match?
Yes, I did. What Sham did, she explained to me exactly what I needed to know.
Well, I have a surprise for you. Cham, come on out.
Oh my goodness.
It's a pleasure to meet you today, sir.
What does it feel like to be face to face?
You helped me out quite a bit.
Call to meet your advisor. They're paid the same no matter which Medicare Advantage plan you choose. Ask them about eHealth Live Advise or get started on your own at eHealth.com. Either way, it's always a free service. See if you could get more for less with eHealth, like these folks did.
The savings are unbelievable.
I could see the costs side by side.
eHealth is wonderful. $1,200 savings in my pocket. I was really pleasantly surprised with that.
Call 1-800-708-0234 to compare Medicare plans in your area or visit eHealth.com.
eHealth, your Medicare matchmaker.
It all started in 2022 when the Biden administration weaponized the U.S. dollar and imposed sanctions upon Russia. Central banks around the globe moved out of dollar-denominated assets and into gold. Jamie Dimon said gold could easily go to $5,000 or $10,000 an ounce. Gold recently surpassed its inflation-adjusted all-time high. Silver's inflation-adjusted all-time high is $209 an ounce.
Give Patriot Gold Group a call at 1-800-778-4156.
Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold and silver dealer nationwide, home of the No Fee for Life IRA. See how easy it is to protect your IRA with physical gold and silver.
Call now, 1-800-778-4156.
It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well.
This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
All right, April 2024, the highbrow Nature journal predicting economic catastrophe due to climate change. That was a prediction made, citing a peer-reviewed study by German researchers at the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research in Berlin, which alleged that climate change would cost the global economy $38 trillion by 2049, and global economic output would decline 62% in 75 years by the year 2100. Big prediction, right? Forbes, Associated Press, Reuters all peddled the panic to the masses. Gullible liberals all over the world shrieked in fear of a pending climate meltdown economically. And then quietly this week, Nature Journal retracted their entire original article from April 2024. More than a year later, the New York Times reports the decision came after a team of economists noticed problems with the data for one country, Uzbekistan, that significantly skewed the results. If Uzbekistan were excluded from the study, they found the damages would look similar to earlier research, and they had no story whatsoever. Adding, instead of a 62% decline in economic output by 2100, in a world where carbon emissions continue unabated, global output would be reduced by 23%, which is still wrong, as we know, but wouldn't actually change anything. It wouldn't make for a headline either. Nature's retraction note stating in part, the authors acknowledge that these changes are too substantial for a correction, leading to the entire retraction of the paper. Retraction Watch is an organization that actually tracks corrections in scientific publications, writing, Nature has retracted 32 papers since 2020, including 3 in 2024. The retraction today marks the 6th for that journal in 2025. And that's something. N2 host Ed Henry joins us now, along with Alex Marlow, editor-in-chief of Breitbart. Good to see you both. Ed, in regards to the $38 trillion figure, at the time Reuters reported that it's a figure that was almost certain to rise as human activity emits more greenhouse gases. You see how they all go crazy and they create this manic climate freakout in this world.
Wait, hang on. This whole thing, this whole hoax was hanging on Uzbekistan? Is that what Rob Schmitt is reporting tonight? We were told you got to go out and get an EV. Gavin Newsom told everybody in California, get rid of the gas-powered car because of Uzbekistan. And they said, oh, never mind. The stats are wrong. And Bill Gates, a month ago, right, that presaged all this and said, never mind, that climate is not going to wipe out humanity and that things like hunger, world hunger, there are bigger issues. I agree with them. Let's tackle it. No kid should go hungry in this world of plenty. But stop scaring us with this crazy junk science. And what's even worse to me is that two different administrations I covered, Democrats, Obama and Biden, actually put together papers out of the Pentagon, now the Department of War, telling us that climate change was our biggest national security threat. It was all a lie.
Isn't it incredible? And Alex, as Ed just said, I mean, we just had Bill Gates come out and effectively say that those doomsday predictions were wrong. And that he said, fortunately, that it's not going to, climate's not going to end the world. For all of us, the view is wrong. It will not lead to humanity's demise. It's amazing to see how something that was taken so seriously by entire governments of the West, something that we were told by so many intelligent people, has just been largely a total exaggeration and a total falsehood. Isn't that incredible?
You said something there about governments from the West and how it was taken seriously by them. Hold that thought, because first of all, let me just say for a second how incredible this is. Ed's point about Bill Gates is terrific. This is doomsday for the watermelons. That's the green on the outside, red on the inside. The communist, Marxist, fascist, whatever you want to call them, they were trying to get that into our bloodstream in the West via environmentalism to try to grow government with this fear of that the climate is we're all going to burn up if we don't do this, if we don't drastically grow the scope, not just of our government, but global government, world government. All of this house of cards is collapsing, and that's terrific. But one really important point, just to interrupt the gloat fest for a second, that's dead serious, is a lot of these central banks around the world built into their models that this nature study was correct. And so this is just real fake news that has drastic consequences across the globe. The people were building into risk management for their own countries, the way they govern their countries, were based on this faulty study that was so bad they had to completely pull it. It truly is a disgrace, and I don't want to completely overlook that point.
That's it. That's such a great point. And you see that in so many industries. So many companies talk about climate all the time, and it's bred into it. And you have liberals running the company. They buy into this. And what does that do? What is the impact of that on these massive companies and corporations that you deal with? You see it all the time. I want to switch. I want to talk real quick before I let you guys go about Trump's comments towards Ilhan Omar, Somalian refugees. Media losing it over this. Want to play ex-ABC host Terry Moran, who has totally proved that his firing was fully justified by indicating his politics lately in his new podcast. Here he was.
The President of the United States calls Somali Americans, including thousands of U.S. citizens, garbage. First, it's a stupid thing to say. And just like my Irish ancestors, probably like your ancestors too, Somali Americans are working hard. They're starting businesses, paying taxes, raising families. Presidents should not talk like that. No decent person should call any other human being garbage.
So, Ed, this is, obviously the president has a way with words. He might have gone a little too far here, but nobody has refuted yet. The claim that came out of his mouth 3 days ago now, was that something like 88% of Somali refugees in the state of Minnesota are on some kind of welfare. And these are the types of realities that are always hidden from us by politically correct politicians and by the media. We have a huge group of people in the country that are not assimilating, that are largely taking from the system, and we have this fraud as well, which is a whole other story. That's just select people doing that. But maybe the president was a bit harsh with his words, but these are things people should know, right?
Well, I would push back on the idea he was harsh with his words, and I'll tell you why in a second. First of all, on the facts, the New York Times, of all people, is defending Donald Trump. I'm about to fall over. I've never heard that before. They laid out how this fraud is totally confirmed. And that Tim Walz, it happened right under his nose. I think part of this is the left saying, don't let Tim Walz sniff anywhere near 2028. They're clearly trying to take this guy out. And now even James Comer and others are saying maybe he'll face criminal charges because this might be up to $1 billion or more in fraud. Now, here's the language. Terry Moran better check his facts. How could a president call people garbage? Joe Biden, the last president, called all the MAGA America First patriots a bunch of garbage. You guys remember that? Yeah. Terry Moran doesn't. And all of this, let's clutch our pearls because you're right, Donald Trump doesn't always speak perfectly, or maybe he's actually smarter than everybody thinks and is saying it in a deliberate way just to get it under everyone's skin. And you know what? Trump was right, as we like to say. He was right. This is garbage.
Definitely got the story out there, a story that, again, was concealed for PC reasons about this population. Alex, I got 20 seconds. Final thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, Biden calls us garbage. Hillary calls us basket of deplorables. And Trump is calling out immigrants come into this country, take advantage of the system, try to bilk the American taxpayers. He's defending the taxpayers. He's calling people come in this country and don't like this country and try to exploit our country garbage. And everyone agrees with him on this point. He's just moving the Overton window, and Terry Moran is stepping in a trap.
There you go. Alex Marlow, Ed Henry, good to see you guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Tim Walz, we were just talking about him, makes a hilarious admission that is next in news from the left.
I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word.
At Pure Talk, life is simple, and so are the deals. For instance, an unlimited wireless plan means unlimited savings for life. Not for the life of your phone, for your life. Unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for $29.95 a month for the rest of your life. Honestly, there's never been another deal like it. In fact, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Pure Talk, everything you need, nothing you don't.
Israel, the birthplace of our faiths for Christians and Jews. That Christmas morning, wise men brought gifts from outside the Holy Land. But in this year of war, this holy land and her people are living in fear, and many of the elderly are alone and suffering. Like the wise men or wise women, would you open your heart and give a special holiday food box to someone here in Israel this Christmas, Hanukkah season?
Right now, the hardships in Israel are felt by everyone. People like Hannah, who can't buy food. That is where the fellowship comes in. That's where the fellowship is called. Baruch Hashem. To feed the hungry.
Happy Hanukkah.
Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, your special holiday gift of just $25 can answer their prayers this Hanukkah and Christmas season.
It's people like Chaya that you can touch.
Please call, scan, or go online now to help rush emergency food and healing to elderly Jews and their Christian neighbors struggling to rebuild their lives from the war.
You are a Christian. Those words of Isaiah, that the Spirit of the Lord is upon you. There we go. You're bringing hope. You're bringing tomorrow on the table to her and to so many others. What will happen? Amen. When tens of millions of Christians and millions of Jews together, we make this holy day season holy indeed.
Radical jihadists are not done. Iran promises death to America. They've built sleeper terror cells in the U.S. They support terror groups out to destroy Israel, including Hamas, whose founding charter calls for Islam to dominate the world.
The young people have been educated to believe that the most sacred thing they do is stab a Christian in the heart.
The only democracy in the Middle East that supports religious freedom is Israel. Standing for freedom, not terror.
Welcome back. Time now for news from the left. Tim Walz with a hilarious admission. People are driving by his house and calling him retarded after the president said the same thing on Air Force One.
I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence.
What's shameful is that it's an accurate description. Might not be the prettiest word, but I'll be damned if that's not accurate. Next up, Rachel Maddow still pushing Russia collusion after all these years.
Russia is a podunk country. They're a huge landmass, largest physical country in the world. The idea that we work for him, that we work for them, is so humiliating and is such an abject failure on the part of Trump in terms of his weakness. I don't know what Putin has on him, but he works for Putin, and it's an embarrassment to this country.
I don't know why they pay that Nimrod so much money. Right now, the president is trying to oust Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, doing everything he possibly can to get that done. That is one of Vladimir Putin's most important, probably the most important Western ally that Putin has. All the evidence runs in the face of this stuff. She does not have a brain, and yet she's still on television talking. It's an incredible thing. Next up, sticking with Stephen Colbert's show, which isn't the best, but it makes for some good fodder. Prince Harry taking a jab at the United States and the president while teasing their obsession with the royals. Take a look.
I genuinely thought this was the audition for the Gingerbread Prince Saves Christmas in Nebraska. Well, you Americans are obsessed with Christmas movies, and you're clearly obsessed with royalty, so why not?
Look, I wouldn't say we're obsessed with royalty.
Really? I heard you elected a king.
Poor Harry. Such a simp now, right? Nobody respects Harry anymore. He's so embarrassing. And finally, this year New York decided to start charging drivers $9 a day to drive in Manhattan. The congestion tax, right? Obvious scam to get in our wallets. Claimed it was going to reduce traffic. Gullible liberals loved the idea.
Everybody's lived experience is the same. Traffic in Midtown is dramatically down.
There were indeed fewer crashes and fewer injuries, and that's a result of there being fewer cars.
So every metric you can look at, there's been an improvement.
You know what that improvement is? About 4%. After charging millions and millions of dollars, 4% improvement. Way to go, New York. A scam as always. We'll get a little Christmassy up next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by MagnaLife Pain Relieving Foot Cream to target neuropathy symptoms.
The stabbing, burning pain in your feet is real. Here's what real customers have to say about MagnaLife Pain Relieving Foot Cream, the only thing that works for my diabetic neuropathy.
Available in foot care and diabetic aisles.
Do you care where the economy is headed? What about elections? Or climate change? See the forecast consensus on our future at IBKR Forecast Trader. If you disagree, you can buy the contract that looks undervalued. But be careful. You must be right more than 50.5% of the time to win. Go to IBKR Forecast Trader.
Under President Trump's strong leadership, we're winning. Now President Trump has once again delivered for American consumers. By working alongside great American-built companies like Pfizer, President Trump has negotiated America First prices that put us first, dramatically reducing prescription drug costs, helping over 100 million Americans, and forcing Europe to pay their fair share. Find your medication for the lowest price. Visit TrumpRx.gov. And America First win on prescription prices.
Your parents have given you some amazing gifts. Celebrate the ones you inherited with Ancestry DNA. Explore the detailed family roots, cultures, and traits that shaped who you are today for only $29.
It's the Blue Compass RV annual Blue Tag Clearance. Save over 40% on select new RVs during our largest sale of the year. Plus, every RV comes with a 1-year VIP membership to RV Complete, a $5,000 value. Visit us online or in store today.
Oh no! Our water line broke. It could cost a fortune to get a contractor to come fix it, and it's not covered by homeowners insurance.
That's why you should have HomeServe.
It's Tom Rusin, CEO of HomeServe.
When your water line breaks, HomeServe sends a qualified contractor to fix it and pays for the covered repairs.
With HomeServe, the American dream of owning a home doesn't need to be a nightmare.
Plans from HomeServe start at just $4.99 a month.
Call 1-833-559-6598 or visit homeserve.com.
Hi there, I'm Dean Heskin, President and CEO of Swiss America. Most investors believe their IRA, 401k, and bank accounts are reliable and safe. But what if our economy becomes so dire that you're restricted from accessing your own money? The fact is that should your bank be in trouble for holding bad loans, the burden could fall on you to help bail them out. Even more concerning is that U.S. financial regulations allow banks to impose withdrawal limits on your hard-earned savings. But there's something you can do about it. Our team at Swiss America has a report called The Secret War on Cash. Learn how to protect yourself with assets that can remain outside the control of banks and other financial institutions. For over 40 years, Swiss America has been one of the most trusted metal firms in the country. So don't wait. Call or text the number on your screen today for financial peace of mind in these uncertain times.
Donate your car to today's veterans and help support Tunnel the Towers. The process is quick and simple, and the proceeds from your generous car donation will go to support the good work that T2T is doing throughout our community. Any car is accepted, running or not, and we will pick it up for free. Your car donation will help Tunnel the Towers to help our dedicated veterans and their families. So call 888-980-VETS or donate your car online at today'sveterans.org. Your car donation really does make a difference.
Finally tonight, the President, the First Lady lighting up this year's National Christmas Tree in Washington just a couple hours ago. 35-foot red spruce from the George Washington and Jefferson National Forest in Virginia. Beautiful tree. And earlier in the week, we showed you Portland, Oregon's ceremony where the hosts of this televised event refused to call it a Christmas tree. They just kept saying the tree over and over again. And today we went to Rockefeller Center here in New York, which had its Christmas tree lighting last night. We had some questions. Take a look.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas from Tennessee.
Merry Christmas to you!
They would not say the Christmas tree.
Why not? This is a Christmas tree.
They need to look at real life, what really is happening out here. We need a little peace, a little bit of happiness and cheerfulness.
I believe in Christmas trees, Santa Claus, and the whole shebang.
We don't take Christ out of Christmas. It's a Christmas tree.
That's what Christmas is all about. It's Christ.
It's definitely the Christmas tree. Absolutely.
Christmas tree.
Christmas tree.
What other kind of tree would it be?
We're going Christmas tree all the way.
I still say Christmas tree, yeah. The star is beautiful. I love it here. It's beautiful. My household is Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. We're from the South, so it's Merry Christmas. We don't get offended down there.
The Christmas tree!
We're from the South. We say Merry Christmas. We don't get offended down there. I love that. It's Christmas time. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't buy the propaganda. You hear somebody say Happy Holidays, you have my permission to respond with a dirty word, a bad word. Finity's up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Take it easy.